Long ago, in the age when gods walked among mortals and heroes were born of legend, there was a mighty warrior named Hercules. He was the son of Zeus, king of the gods, and a mortal woman, Alcmene. From the moment of his birth, his strength and courage were unmatched. But his life was not destined to be easy. Hera, the queen of the gods, full of jealousy, cursed Heracles with madness. In his fury, Heracles unknowingly committed an unthinkable crime. He killed his own family. Grief-stricken and seeking redemption, he sought the guidance of the Oracle of Delphi. The oracle's words were clear. Heracles would have to complete 12 impossible tasks set by King Eurystheus in order to atone for his actions. These 12 labors would become his legend, and thus the epic journey of Heracles began. Task 1. The Nemean Lion. Heracles' first labor was to defeat the fearsome Nemean Lion, a beast with a coat so thick it was impenetrable to weapons. Undaunted, Heracles wrestled the lion, using only his immense strength. He strangled the beast with his bare hands and wore its indestructible pelt as a symbol of his victory, a cloak that would become a part of his legendary armor. Task 2. The Lernaean Hydra. The second labor took him to the swamps of Lerna, where he had to slay the Hydra, a serpent-like creature with many heads. Every time he cut off one head, 2 more grew back, with the help of his companion Iolaus, who cauterized the stumps of the heads to prevent them from regrowing. Heracles finally defeated the monster, cutting off its immortal head and burying it under a heavy rock. Task 3. The Ceryneian Hind. Heracles was then tasked with capturing the Ceryneian Hind, a sacred deer of Artemis known for its incredible speed. For a year, Heracles pursued the creature across forests and mountains. In the end, he caught it without harming it, showing patience and skill, and returned it to Eurystheus. Task 4. The Erymanthian Boar. Next, Heracles had to capture the giant boar of Mount Erymanthus, a creature that terrorized the land. Heracles tracked the boar through thick snow, eventually trapping it in a net. He brought it back alive, fulfilling the task and proving his relentless determination. Task 5. The Stymphalian Birds. The Stymphalian birds were dangerous creatures with metallic feathers that could pierce through armor. Using a pair of bronze castanets gifted by Athena, Heracles frightened the birds into the air, then shot them down with his bow and arrows, completing yet another perilous task. Task 6. The Cretan Bull. Heracles' sixth task was to capture the mighty Cretan bull, a beast sent by Poseidon that had ravaged Crete. With his unmatched strength, Heracles subdued the bull and brought it back to King Eurystheus, proving once again that nothing could stand in his way. Task 7. The Mares of Diomedes. Heracles had to capture the vicious Mares of Diomedes, horses that fed on human flesh. After defeating Diomedes, the king who owned them, Heracles tamed the Mares and brought them to Eurystheus, overcoming both the challenge of the beast and the treacherous king. Task 8. The Belt of Hippolyta. The eighth labor saw Heracles travel to the land of the Amazons, a fierce tribe of warrior women, to obtain the magical belt of their queen, Hippolyta. After a series of battles and misunderstandings, Heracles won the belt, showing not just strength, but diplomacy and resolve in the face of opposition. Task 9. The Cattle of Geryon. Heracles' ninth labor took him to the farthest reaches of the world, where he had to capture the cattle of Geryon, a monster with 3 bodies. Along the way, he faced giants and fought off the 3-headed dog Orthrus, but in the end, he captured the cattle and returned them to Eurystheus, cementing his role as a hero of extraordinary endurance. Task 10. The Apples of the Hesperides. Heracles was tasked with stealing the golden apples of the Hesperides, guarded by a dragon and the daughters of the Titan Atlas. After many trials, he enlisted the help of Atlas, who held up the sky, allowing Heracles to steal the apples. This labor required not only strength, but also great cleverness and teamwork. Task 11. The Capture of Cerberus. The 11th task was the most daunting. To capture Cerberus, the 3-headed dog who guarded the gates of the underworld. Undeterred, Heracles journeyed into the realm of the dead, confronted Hades, and with great courage and strength, he captured Cerberus and brought him to the surface, completing this impossible labor. Task 12. The cleaning of the Augean stables. The final labor seemed simple. Clean the massive stables of King Augeas, which had not been cleaned in years and were filled with an unimaginable amount of filth. Using his ingenuity, Heracles diverted 2 rivers, flooding the stables and washing away the muck in a single day, demonstrating his creativity and problem-solving skills. Having completed the 12 labors, Heracles had redeemed himself. He had faced monsters, gods, and impossible tasks, showing not only his great strength but also his wisdom, perseverance, and heart. As a result, he was granted immortality, and his name became a symbol of heroism for all time. Heracles' story teaches us that true strength lies not only in physical power, but in courage, intelligence, and the willingness to face even the darkest challenges. His legend lives on, inspiring those who strive to overcome the trials and tribulations of life.